Hi, I'm Elena of Financial Demics, where I give you the tips and tools to manage your money, increase your savings and your income, and decrease your debt. And today we are creating a paycheck budget by hand. So in the last video, we created a paycheck budget bill worksheet where we actually determine which bills were going to be paid with which paycheck and approximately how much would go towards those bills in total. In this video, we're going to use that first paycheck that my client receives to create the paycheck budget so that you can see how we create a zero-based budget by paycheck. So let's check that out now. Okay, so we are back with the paycheck budget. So this is a series just showing you how I budget in general, but I'm budgeting for an actual client who is low income and just showing them how that they can budget for themselves. So we have created a financial calendar for the client. We've also created a monthly budget so they can see what their monthly budget should look like. We use the Paycheck Budget Bill Worksheet to figure out how to create a paycheck budget, like to break out those numbers. This is just kind of like a draft sheet. It looks pretty right now, but when you're doing it, you're going to be moving numbers across and making it work for you in the best way possible. So it may not look pretty. I just want to give that warning. And then now we're going to use this same worksheet here to help us build out the paycheck budget for the client. So in this case, the paycheck date was November 30th of this year because the client is actually paid semi-monthly, but of course that November 30th paycheck is going to affect some of the bills that are paid in December. So we're going to build out that budget based off of what we did on the Paycheck Budget Bill Worksheet. So let's get started. All right, so if you've been following the series, the client's income that we are going to budget for is their job. They typically bring home approximately $1,100 per paycheck. So they normally bring home a little more than this. I told them to give me a good roundabout number so that they could budget and then kind of create a buffer for themselves. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to budget just off of this $1,100. And then anything extra they get is going to be a buffer. I always believe in paying yourself first. And so in this case, we've already determined from the Paycheck Budget Bill Worksheet that the client normally already gives themselves $110 every paycheck. So that's how much they save. But we've done some math and done some adding, subtracting, dividing. And we have determined that the client does have extra money. So we're going to take that extra $149.75. And we're also going to save that to help the client get to their goal. So they have a goal of saving $2,000 in a very short period of time. They are very close. And so we want to make sure that they hit that goal. And so this budget was created in a way to help them reach their goal. So we're going to have 110 that just comes from their job and then the extra savings. And the reason why I break this out is if something unexpected does happen, or they end up determining they need money for something, then they'll know that like, oh, I definitely could still save this 110, but I could pull from this 149.75. So that's why I do it the way I do. So for the month, they should be saving, or not the month, for this particular paycheck, they should be saving, if everything goes well, $259.75. That's the goal. So next, they have their tithe. So I'm actually going to add tithe and offering. I always add this first typically. That's typically my thought process. So we're going to go ahead and add that. I'm just going to put that is due on the 1st because they'll pay it when, well, I know this client pays online, but they may pay it when they go to church. or anything like that. So I'm going to put that to the side. And then rent, that's also due on the 1st. That's $273.75. Then they have renter's insurance that is due on the 3rd for $12. If you live in an apartment, you definitely want to get renter's insurance, y'all. You don't want anything to happen and then, you're just losing everything. And renter's insurance is pretty cheap. So definitely want to get some of that if you don't have it already, or figure out a way to work it into your budget. So they have a cell phone that's $55, and that is due on the 6th. Then they have the gym. That's due on the 12th, and they pay $22 for the gym. Then they like to invest, so we're going to go ahead and put that in there. It could go to the savings section, but I just say like pay yourself like you pay your bill. So in this case, they're investing. They have this set up automatically where it happens every single month. So we're just going to list it as a bill. So they have that. Then they have their electric bill, which these are the same bills. If you look at the monthly budget that I created, these are the same bills. We're just breaking it out by paycheck. So these are all the bills that are the 1st through the 15th. They actually don't have a bill really due on the 15th, but I go through the 15th because typically you would get paid on the 15th for this particular client, but you want to just make sure that bill is taken care of and you're not trying to pay it the day you get paid. Granted, we've all been there, we've all done it, but just in case anything happens, at least that bill is already taken care of. That's really my thought process. So we are budgeting $37.50 for their electric. And then for their streaming service, we are budgeting $25, and that's due on the actual 11th. This should be higher up. I should put that there, but it's okay. And then this is all of their actual bills. So we're going to go ahead and total up the bills for the paycheck period. Okay, so the total bills adds up to $610.25 for the November 30th paycheck. And then we're going to go ahead and accommodate for their variable expenses. So for the variable expenses, they have their personal spending money. Everyone should have personal spending money, okay? Everybody. Just pick the amount that works for you. They get their haircut every 2 weeks from what I understand. And then they have gas for their car. So they're budgeting $35 for that. Food, they're budgeting $75. So they with food, they're budgeting $75 for food. So we're going to add up all their variable expenses, which is $230. So if we look at their numbers here, their savings is $259.75, right? Yep, 75. They have bills, and that is $610.25. So if you see that here, and then they have variable expenses of $230. So we know this is zero. So if we add this up, this should give us $1,100. which matches our total income on the paycheck budget spreadsheet. So now we should be in a good place where every dollar has a name, and my client should know where their paycheck should be going for the next 15 days or so. And then they also have an idea if something does happen, they know they can pull from here. Hopefully nothing happens and everything goes smoothly, and we'll see how to close this out at the end. I hope it was helpful for you to see how we create a paycheck budget. I personally love budgeting by paychecks. I've been doing it for I'm probably telling my age, for over 10 years at this point, because it just makes it easier to manage my money, and it allows me to adjust just in case there are any situations that occurred during the month. If you have any questions about budgeting by paycheck, or if you want to see other methods of budgeting, please let me know in the comments below. And if you would like to see one way that I create financial stability for myself and my family by getting 1 month ahead on our bills, then definitely check out this next video I have linked here, and I'll see you next time.